Coach, what's the biggest message coming off a WNIT championship that you want to portray to this year's team?
So one of the biggest messages this year is that, well, that was last year. So moving forward, we're not going to talk about it a lot. It's a great thing, but it was last year. I think we have bigger plans, bigger objectives, bigger goals, and we're going for them this year. So using the momentum as something positive, using the confidence, definitely something to build off of, because not too many teams last year ended on a confident note besides Baylor and us. So using that, but not really talking about it, because honestly, if we were to go to another WNIT this year, that's a disappointment. So I think, our goal is we want to be a tournament team. We haven't been to a tournament, I think, in like 14 years. I don't know exactly, but a long time. So that's our goal. And our goal is to do that. So we don't look at the big picture. We look at the small, victories. So it's daily. It's getting better every day, sticking to the process, doing things the right way, and then things will take care of themselves.
You opened up practice this week, and I know it's early, but how do things look, and how are the new girls, the freshmen and the transfers, sort of meshing in with the returnees?
So things look great. I think the first practice here, there's a lot of teaching. So, and the funny thing is there's so many more people. So 15 players, you have to do things where there isn't 10 people in line. So managing that, it's very different, because I feel like even when we run a sprint, it's like it's a full court, the width of the court. So, we have to take a lot of time. And what people don't realize is that we haven't been together long. It's only been, a few weeks. Because the first week or so was just assessments, lifting, starting school. Normally, in a typical year when it's not all foreign players, they're here from the end of June. And so you have June, you have, July, and then you have August. For us, they got here at the end of August. So we only have the last 3 weeks. So we're behind on a lot of stuff in that sense. But the positive thing is they were all playing high-level basketball. So they weren't missing much in that sense. They came in better shape, came a little bit more prepared just game-wise. But with 7 new players, there's a lot of teaching. It's a lot slower. So that's a little bit of a challenge early on. But I think that the level of our freshmen is improved, and it has every year that I've had this program. So, they're better, but they're still freshmen. So along with freshmen, the greatest thing about a freshman is they become a sophomore. So freshman is inconsistency, and they're just kind of getting used to everything. And then there's a language barrier with a couple players. So that's a challenge. But besides that, it's been good.
What's the biggest attribute that the foreign players bring in that maybe are different than the American players?
International experience, basketball IQ, playing at a high level, which is a higher level than AAU basketball. So in America, obviously we have AAU basketball, which on the highest level of AAU basketball would be the EYBL. So that's like a Nike circuit where all the best teams in the country compete. So that's in certain cities. So that's a good competition. But for the international players like Spain, Turkey, they're playing in FIBA, which is, it's more like playing on, the USA U16 team. So they're all competing at those. So it's just a way higher level of better basketball. It's not just like 50 games in the summer with no practices. It's an organized basketball. So I think that's a big advantage. Another advantage that they really have off the court is they're not leaving home for the first time. It's a huge advantage. So all the American kids, just like me, I was 17 when I came to college. I never had been away from home for more than a week in my life. Helena Puello from Spain, Cheval, Mara from Latvia, they all lived away from home in a different city. So they were already in a dorm-like situation, so you don't have the, homesick the first couple of months. So I think that's a big advantage, and it's not such a big transition.
Your transfers, Sheena and Amari, how'd they fit in? I know Sheena had some problems in Oklahoma, some challenges, and I know you talked about finding the right people. How'd you decide she's a good person to be here?
Well, just got to get to know her, over the summer, talked with her, went to go meet her just to make sure before we even move forward. Then she came here for a visit. So those things were really important to make sure it's right, because every fit isn't right for everybody in every situation. Like, I don't fit at all places. I wouldn't be a great head coach at all places. So I think that just finding the fit, and I do believe in second opportunities, second chances. And, I think that this is a good fit for her. And I think that She's aligned with what we're doing. I love her hunger, her work ethic, and I think once you have to leave somewhere and it's your last opportunity somewhere, you also value things a little bit better. I'm sure if she looks back, there's decisions she probably made in college, just like all of us, our first couple of years that you wouldn't make now, and that comes with maturity. But I think she's very happy here. I think she's a player that will really help us on and off the court. She's really smart. She's very perceptive and all those things, and she's won, and she's played at a high level. She's one of 2 players on the Canadian team that has a chance to make the Olympic team. So there's only 2, and Canada's a really good team. I mean, they were 4th a year ago, and there's 2 college kids that are in that pool. She's one of them, so it says a lot. But she's a winner. She wants to go play pro, so she brings us a huge part of culture, and work ethic that's important for this program. So I think that she's going to be a good fit, and she's an incredible athlete. She'll be one of the best athletes we have. So I wish she could play this year with Ari, because those 2 together we'd have awesome, and then Titi, we'd have an incredible defense. But I think 1 year of her developing, getting used to things, taking a year to decompress and focus on school, I think it's going to be more beneficial for her.
And then how do you see Amari fitting into this?
Amari's going to fit. Amari's smart. Amari's won. Amari's been a starter, so she brings us experience. She's another guy. I love lefty guards. She's a lefty guard that can shoot it. She can create her own shot, one of the few on our team that can. I think she's going to be a very good complement with Ari. She just brings a lot. She even brings a lot off the court. So those are the kind of fits. I think when you find the right fifth years, I think there's a lot of value because we're pretty young. We have 7, freshmen or 6 freshmen, and then we have, Shane as a transfer. Then we have 5 freshmen. Shane as a transfer, Amari, and it's a lot of new things. And I think when you add Shayna that's won, you add Amari that's won, and she started and she's been in good tough situations on the court. I think that she adds value. So I wish she could have played here more than 1 year. But I think she's going to help us a lot.
What are your expectations for Ari this year? Obviously, she's coming off an amazing year, but I know you're kind of saying you expect her numbers to go down a little bit just because she'll have more help.
I do expect them to go down a little bit, but I also wouldn't have expected her to lead the country in scoring or be a top 3, back and forth in the top 3. But I think that her numbers, as we get better, they should go down a little bit because so much responsibility isn't on her shoulders. But I think that she'll have more help. We're a better shooting team this year. Hopefully that'll show on the court. But we do have more capable three-point shooters. We have more size. We have more depth inside and on the perimeter. So I expect Ari off the court. She's even more vocal this year and in the locker room. She's not ever going to be an extremely vocal player. That's just not her, and I'm not asking her to be someone she's not. So more vocal, taking more initiative, and she has. She's working hard, not only in practice but outside. I mean, she has goals. And then I think just more of a leadership role and, just stepping outside of her box a little bit, just like I ask everybody else. But she's important because whether she's super vocal or not, people follow her. So she has to know that, and she does know that now, and accept that role. But Ari's been great for us. Ari's someone that everybody respects, someone that everybody looks to lead. So it's not always by, her talking, it's by her actions, and she plays with so much heart. And I don't think you could teach that, and she's the ultimate competitor. I think one thing that's going to be very good for Ari and Shayna is they're going to go at it every day. So Shayna is an athlete that can stick with Ari at times. And so I think it's going to make Ari better, and I think it's going to make Shayna better every single day. So I really am excited to see that because it's awesome to see in practice. We've had more competitive practices, these couple practices, than we did the whole year last year. And so I'm excited because I think that makes the games easier. And Ari's improved. I think one thing that's a blessing in disguise for Ari is not making the USA team. So by Herman not making the team, she had a little chip, and I like that. So she's been working on her shot. Her shot looks great every single day. So that's what's really motivated her, and I love to see that. Anytime something like that can motivate you, you get better.
And she was listed as in the 2020 NBA draft or WNBA draft
Yeah.
was like a top 12 prospect.
saw that.
Have you discussed that with her?
No, haven't discussed it with her at all, just because I try not to look at that. I'm aware of it. I'm sure she's aware of it. But I think for Aerie, there's a tremendous opportunity here at Arizona. So the first thing is she has a chance to be an All-American this year. She has a chance to be one of the top it's the top Pac-12 guards. So, and you also, there's another really good guard, a couple states away, Sabrina. She'll be one of the top picks. She's a tremendous guard. But next year, Aerie can be the best guard in the Pac-12. So I think for her, it's a huge incentive to stay. She can be an All-American again. She can be one of the best guards in the country. She can be the best guard in the Pac-12. So I would think that it's more enticing to stay because your stock would go even higher. And I think also, for her, she's going to graduate. She has a chance to graduate with a master's. So for her, I think it gets even better to stay because the competition, there's Destiny Slocum, there is really good guards, but Aerie could be the best guard in the Pac-12, one of the best in the country, leave college with a master's degree, and so financially it would be even more beneficial to wait a year. So, and that's something she has to think about. It's not something we talk about. It's something she can think about later, but I mean, it's a pretty good situation a year from now.
Coach, with your starting five coming back and then the added depth, although young, how do you change up your offensive defensive style maybe for this year?
Well, we can change it. We can be a lot more aggressive because we have more bodies. I think that you're going to see improvement in productivity because less minutes. Like Aerie's not going to have to play 38 and 39 minutes, 40 minutes. Sam Thomas is, if you shave a couple minutes off each player, they're more fresh and they're more productive. They have more legs to shoot the ball more efficiently. They have more legs and energy for defense. We don't have to conserve anything. So we'll be better in that sense, just having more depth. I think, things that you have to slow down on because of a language barrier, because of so many new players, and because of a new system for all of them, there's a lot of teaching early. So it's just a little slower initially. But I think when you add people like Shayna, and who's not going to play this year, but she's in practice every day, but Amari, they bring some experience to help with that freshman transition. And I think that one thing you'll see from the foreign kids, Cheval, Mara, Berna, and Helena, is they are smart basketball players. So a lot of stuff you're teaching freshmen here normally, they already have a sense of basketball and basketball IQ. So they're starting off a little bit more advanced, I'd say. But then, the language barrier, but thank goodness Salvo speaks a lot of languages, so that helps. You'll see it if you watch practice. It's funny because he'll be coaching in Spanish a lot. So I think that's really cool. That's an advantage. So he's definitely earning his money this year, which is good. So, because I don't know Spanish too well, but it's helping, and those little things matter. He doesn't speak any Icelandic, but Berna and Mara speak perfect English.
Obviously, those freshmen, they're from different countries, but do they
Yeah.
have something in common that's allowed them to click so far?
I think what's in common is coming here together, being thousands of miles away from home and doing it together. So in one apartment is Berna and Mara, and then in another one is Amari and Shayna, so they're new. They don't have the international changes, but they have, changes from scenery or states. And then we have Helena and Cheval in one, so they're all kind of experiencing it together. So they've been really good at helping each other and create a really good relationships, which are important. But I think it's just going through that. So an example is like a couple of them won't go home for Christmas. So like my plans are gonna change. I'll stay here at Christmas for them. And so just little things like that. But I think doing it together, I think it's very difficult when you're the only one. Like if you're the only player from Spain and you come somewhere, it's like, and you're the only European player, because it's just different. There's cultural barrier changes. There's just so many, the food, the lifestyle, the sense of urgency, the pace of everything in America. It's just really different. And I know that, and I'm sensitive to that because I've played overseas for 13 years. I've been on teams where no one spoke English. And so I know what that feels like, but I think when you're young and you don't know what that feels like, you don't know how to be inclusive with that. So I think my job is to teach them. Like I brought them all to a Turkish restaurant like 2 months ago, but I like doing that stuff. So I think it's going to add to their lives. Like they're going to learn different things and learn about different people and travel. And I think in the next couple of years, what you're going to start to see in this program is players like Bryce going to Spain for 2 weeks with Helena, or players like let's say Tara going from New Zealand to Iceland to visit. I think you're going to see a lot of that, which I think is really cool.
Two assistant coaches leave over the offseason. Some might say, oh, that might be not a good situation because that's a lot of turnover. What would you say to quell?
I think it's a great opportunity. I think when one of my best friends in basketball, Morgan has the opportunity to be a head coach, which it's her dream. I think it's a great thing. I think it's a part of my coaching tree. I was blessed to have her for 2 years. She helped me a lot. She knew me more than anybody. She was the one who I called when I first got into coaching. So for her to go, I was more than supportive and more than helpful for her to do that. So I think it's a great opportunity. Yes, does she miss? Yes, tremendously, because the players loved her. For me, it's like you don't realize how much you miss someone until they're gone. So there's so many things for her just knowing me that she did. I'm like, oh, wait, we don't have that. But that's just a part of change. So I think that's good. And then, in April was only here for a year. I've known April. We've been friends. We have a connection through her former head coach, who used to be my first boss. So I think for her, she's, a California person, a Cali girl. And so for her to have a chance, to go back to California in a really big role that needs a lot of, I think it was a good opportunity for her. So I'm not the type that is going to say, no, you must stay for the turnover. When it's a better life opportunity for you and your family, I support that. Because for the way I look at it here is this is a great place. We're doing special things. And there is a lot of people that want to be here. I mean, from the WNBA, from other coaching staffs, and you never realize that until you have an opening. You realize how many people want to come to a different situation. So for me, it's not hard to fill spots here. I did take my time and wanted the right people, but I also, I used to work with Jackie at Washington, and I knew Tamisha, and we had some really close friends. So they're a really good fit. Their energy, the way they perceive things, like all of those things are aligned with me. And so I think it's a good fit. But in a couple of years, they're really good. They're probably going to get opportunity. And that's the way it goes. I think you always want a situation like Gino Auriemma and Chris Daly, and that is very rare. To have someone by your side that long. Now, fortunately, I'll have that with Salvo because he can't go anywhere. We won't stay married if he gets poached, so he doesn't have a choice. He's stuck with me. But I think, that's a part of the evolution. If you get someone with a lot of experience, they are going to have opportunity, especially if they're good. So what I realized, April's good. And so I went and recruited April, and then, obviously, she's one of the best on the West Coast, so someone recruited her. So that's kind of how it goes. And, they always say it's really hard to get rid of bad people, and it's really hard to keep good people. So I think that's just the nature of the business. But, I think that's a part of the process, and it's not something I worry about at all. And I ideally don't want that, but it's not even a thought because they've been a great fit.
How does Lucia help the new class?
She helps a lot. Lucia is a tremendous asset, especially for Helena. Lucia has kind of taken her under her wing. And if you met Lucia her first year, Lucia did not speak barely any English. She did not say anything. She didn't understand the jokes, so she can relate to them. So she's been extremely helpful, even through the recruiting process. So it's good to have her. Another Spanish player. Lucia is a senior, and Lucia was my first recruit. So Lucia is always going to have a special place in my heart because my first recruit when I got here, who took a leap of faith, had never been to America, came here and stayed. In the first year, I know she was like, I need to go back to Spain. But she stayed and weathered the course. And I kept on saying, things are going to get better, things are changing. And so now we always talk about it and laugh because this program has completely changed in 3 years, night and day. So it's like we always talk about just stories from the first year.
Expectations for Kate this year?
To be even more vocal, to be a better leader, giving her the tools to lead, because she wants that. If you watch her now, she's practicing with a chip. She is practicing on a mission. She has something to prove, and I love that. And that's what Kate is, and that's what she stands for. I don't know more of a competitive player. I don't know a player that plays with more heart. And she brings all that. And I think what's been good is that now she has some freshmen to push her. So I think in the past we didn't really have that. But now Cheval's coming in. Cheval's a good player. And so Cheval's pushing Samaj, she's pushing Kate and Dominique. It's a lot more competition. And Berna's doing that, so that's good. We're going to see that more and more, and that's our job as a coaching staff to make it more competitive. But big expectations for Kate. Expect a lot from her, but that's on and off the court. So that's leadership in the locker room, that's leadership on the court. I want her to set the bar, and I talked to her about that, about practicing every day. And you saw, I don't know if some of you guys watched practice yesterday, but diving on the floor, doing all those things, that's what I expect from Kate, because she's the one that can do that consistently.
And then, what about her shooting? I know that was a big thing.
Her shooting's improved a lot. She's worked a lot on her three-point shooting, getting stronger. She's gained a little bit of muscle. She's never going to be a force in the paint, but she's going to improve her perimeter skills. She has to be able to be a knockdown three-point shooter. And I think what I envision her in the future is being a Megan Huff type. Megan Huff improved her game every year, worked on her game, became deadly from the perimeter at 50%. And I think Kate's capable. So she's got to add that to her game. And, she wants to one day play pro, so she'll have to do that. But she's capable of doing that.
What's the biggest asset that TT brings coming back from this year?
TT is one of the most important players. It's not all about the numbers. It is value. She's valuable in every other way. Like without TT, we are completely different. Without TT on the court, we're different too, because she's a lockdown defender that's very smart, very calculated, very high basketball IQ, knows how to win. She's even more valuable off the court. She's like the mama on the team. She is the one that'll tell you the truth, and it might hurt your feelings, but she'll say it. Most kids her age don't do that and can't do it. She's one of the few on our team that can. What to expect from her. She's consistent in every way. That's on and off the court, and she's just a leader. So not having TT, we're very different, and that's one of the reasons why I talked her into staying for another year. She's a little bit injured right now, so don't know what will happen, but regardless, her role is invaluable. She's someone I value tremendously. She is someone that I look to. She is someone that I trust. She is someone that I believe in, and it's in every single way. And she is someone that represents this program better than anybody.
What are your season ticket sales now compared to last year?
Yeah, so we're going for 3,000. We're at 2,584, and that's awesome. It's over double. We were talking about 1,000 the first year, and so we're encroaching on 3,000, and so that's the goal. I want us to push for 3,000, and I want them to show up if they actually buy the tickets. But I think that's a really realistic goal. The fans and the support in Tucson has been amazing. I love this city. I love the people here. It's everything. But they've supported us like more than I could have ever imagined. And so, I just left that marketing meeting actually. But yeah, we're going for 3,000. We've already sold all of the courtside seats. We've already reserved and opened up 3 more sections. So I think it's really exciting for us. I think everybody is excited for our season, and our players are excited, and they're touching the fans and doing all those things. So I'm hoping that we push to get 3,000. So hopefully you guys can help with that. But I think it's realistic, and I think it says a lot about the shift in the program.
When Samaje first got here, you talked about big girls just being big and
Yeah.
physical. What's changed for her?
She's becoming more aggressive, more consistent. She's finishing better around the rim. She's already coming ahead. So before she'd always come kind of out of shape and work herself in the shape, but she didn't take steps backwards this summer being off. She's gotten stronger. Her body's in better shape. She's running the floor better. Her hands are getting better. She's just improving, and it's a process. I think you're going to see a huge jump from this year to next year. So she's one of those players that just takes time because she has to believe in herself. I believe in her. She has to believe in herself more and put the work in. So she's learning, and I think the freshmen are helping with that because they are doing it. So when someone else does it, you do it, and that's just kind of the way the competition and culture goes. So she's getting better and better, but she's someone we need. Like, we aren't going to be as successful if Samaje isn't great. So the better Samaje is, the better we'll be. I believe in her. She calls herself one of my favorites, and she definitely is. And she's just maturing, and she's, her whole demeanor, everything is changing. So we expect a lot from her. I mean, she's 6'6", and you can't teach 6'6". And I just want her to continue to get better and put the work in, but because she's capable of doing a lot.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Mary here?
How excited are you guys for the season?
Really excited. I'm happy about the new additions we have, and we're just excited to see where we are in the future.
Yeah, I agree. Like coming in already, like we've had so much energy at practice, and like we already look like we've gone way better from where we started. So I mean, it'll be exciting to see what we do.
Hey, Coach was saying that you have a chip on your shoulder in practice this right now. Why?
Oh, I don't know. It's probably like we're doing this new thing with like earning your A, and like I don't know. I just haven't gotten it yet, so maybe that's what she's talking about. But
What is that?
it's like so everyone starts out on the team with like no gear, like you all have to wear blank stuff, and then like you have to earn like 19 out of 21 votes from like your teammates and your coaches based off like different things, like how you're doing in practice, like helping out your teammates off the court too. So it's based off that.
Is that for each day in practice?
It's like every Friday, like you put in your vote for who you think earned it.
What are you looking to improve on the most this year?
I'd probably say being more consistent. Last year, towards the end of the season, I think I was more consistent than I had been playing in the conference. But I definitely think that I've been working on that and getting better in each practice. So.
How important is it for you to develop your jump shot a little bit more?
So then I can be a threat outside as well, not just, down in the post. People know I can score down there, but being able to bring my game out, 17 feet would be really helpful for the team.
You've been extremely aggressive in practice. You've been all over this one over here. It's kind of, was it your intent to be extremely aggressive this year?
Yeah, like I've just always been really competitive. Aries also really competitive. So it's like specifically the drill we were doing yesterday was like really about competing and like getting the ball. And so like both of us, like we both wanted the ball. So it's like, I guess that was probably a little bit of what happened. But yeah, I definitely want to be more aggressive, more competitive this year.
Were you happy how your freshman season went?
Yeah, I mean, it was a great season for the team. Like, there's nothing to complain about. Like I said, more consistency on my part would be better towards the team. But other than that, like, I couldn't have asked for a better season.
Harry, talk to us about this summer and your experiences.
Just this summer before we went home, just working out with the team, and then obviously when I went home, I rested for a little bit. Then I came back, and it kind of helped, like being with my teammates, lifting again and working out because they've been pushing me. And then just to be back with the newcomers, I mean, it's really competitive this year, and definitely everyone pushes each other, and so we bring the best out of each other. So that's really helpful for us.
In your Pan Am experience?
Oh, I didn't play in that.
I thought you went to the.
I tried out. That was like in May. It was cool. It was an eye opener, definitely. I went down there, competed. Obviously, I didn't make it, but that added some fuel to the fire for this season. So no biggie.
Kate, how have you seen Aries' improvements? Her vision, the consistency of her shot, different things like that. It's been a big jump, right?
Yeah, especially like within the past couple of weeks, we've been on like the same teams and stuff for stuff we do, and her shot has gotten so much better. Like her 3-point shot is way more consistent, and I see her like working after practice, getting up threes with Salvo or Coach Salvo. So I mean, she's been really working on stepping up her game. Her communication has gotten a lot better. I mean, she's just become a stronger leader for us.
Harry, what are your expectations for yourself this season?
Most importantly, cut down turnovers. Just like Kay said, just improve, have a consistent like 3-point shot and jump shot. Make my free throw percentage go higher, and just put my teammates in better situations.
What's it been like practicing against Amari so far?
It's been good. She's a crafty player, so definitely I have to stay on my heels with her, but we push each other, and that helps each other, both of us.
Who do you think has improved of the returnees from last season and over for both of you guys, who do you think has improved the most?
Go first.
I would say Samaje, honestly. We've had multiple conversations about her like not fading, and I feel like the past like couple practices she's been going into like someone's body, so I like that, and I think that's definitely an improvement from last year.
Yeah, I agree. Samaje, she's definitely more competitive than she was last year. She is finishing better in practice, so she's looking pretty good.
For both of you, you're not going to be playing as many minutes, especially you, Ari. You're not going to do the 39, 40 minutes a game with the new team and the new depth. How's that going to help you improve this year?
That's gonna help a lot. First, it won't be so hard on my body. I won't be like bruised up and sore like I used to, and just I think that will help me be more efficient this year. Honestly.
Ari, you were on a list for the top 12 WNBA draft prospects. Have you thought about after this year going into the draft at all?
No, it's an honor to be a part of that group, but just this year, right now, I'm focused on my team. That's all.
You ever think you'd be on something like that?
I mean, I'm not trying to be cocky. I mean, yeah, but it's not a main focus.
How are the freshmen coming along, and are they pushing all you guys in practice so far?
They're good. I mean, I see some of them after practice, and you're like surprised, like how the practices really are, and it's like, you weren't like expecting that or used to like having practices like intense like hours and like just like longer than like what you're used to. So I mean, I've definitely seen like they've been through some hard stuff already, but I mean, like everyone goes through that as a freshman, and you get used to it and you learn. So I mean, they've been doing good.
How much have you learned about their country since they've been here?
I've learned a lot. Like it's just different seeing each other's like cultures meshing together. Teaching us stuff, us teaching them stuff. Like it's just different ways that we were brought up, that things we taught. So I mean, it's cool to see though.
What's the most interesting thing that you've learned?
I mean, probably just all their languages. Like I wish I knew another language. So it's like cool that like they all know like a language, and then like they also know English, and I'm like, I want to do that, but it's really difficult. So I mean, it's good for them.
Anything else? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.